What's up, guy?
What are you doing?
Well, so there's some big news out today. Walmart Plus is coming out, and here we are suddenly going to try to rival Amazon and Amazon Prime. So this is going to allow customers through a $98 a year fee to suddenly get the same benefits of same-day groceries, price discounts, you name it. And I immediately thought of you because last time I checked, you were wearing J.C. Penney plain pocket jeans. And I believe at least up until at Georgetown, you were wearing Garanimals, from what I remember.
No question. I mean, it made it easy for me to decide what I was going to wear to class, to my problem God class.
Right.
Thursdays. I mean,
Thursdays, you were a Tiger, man, and Friday, of course, you were a Bulldog.
It's a genius. Let me say this. If Garanimals doesn't exist now, it absolutely should. I think somebody could make a fortune on sort of the remix or the redux of Garanimals. That's just me. But, what's old is new in today's world.
What old is new, and what is clearly new is that the recurring revenue stream and the getting consumers into the flywheel of your entire business model is proven by Amazon to be genius, right? I never really understood why the Kindle existed and why people are getting free books and why they're handing out this thing. But I know at that point you were listening to an 8-track tape player, so that didn't mean a lot to you either.
Well, you should. Your tense of the verb is incorrect. You use was. I mean, nothing's really changed. But so you tell me Walmart's going up against Amazon. So my mind goes to that's like an epic battle of the behemoths. So I'm thinking circa late 70s, early 80s, like a Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh wow!
Taking on an Andre the Giant type of thing.
By the way,
Andre
nobody.
The Giant, Go ahead.
Yeah, nobody touches Andre, dude. I mean, the size of that dude. I'm a huge Andre fan, and
may he rest in peace.
Yeah, well, may he rest in peace. And although he's resting in peace somewhere, nobody's ever seen Andre the Giant and Alex Ovechkin in the same place at the same time. Just saying.
That's true. But so in this case, though, I think Amazon is Andre the Giant, and although Gorilla Monsoon or Walmart is a formidable opponent. To your earlier point, I don't think you can knock Andre off the pedestal.
You can't knock Andre off the pedestal, but Walmart is about a $340 billion market cap. Amazon, I think this week getting over, $3,000 a share. We're somewhere around $1.6 trillion here. So Walmart's, about 1/5 the size of Amazon. And while I realize they aren't offering anywhere near the same amount of services at its core. And what COVID-19 has brought out is the ability to deliver on consumer staples and become essential to the everyday shopper and the leader of the household, whoever that may be in today's world. And having that control and that preference is huge to then leaning into higher ticket items and ultimately increasing the ability to press the profitability levers that we've all at times wondered when Amazon was going to do it when they weren't. But for Walmart, who has dominated the consumer staples retail space for forever, and anytime they choose to compete on price with Target or Kroger or you name it, and they are Gorilla Monsoon and Andre rolled up into one relative to those other big box stores. Relative to Amazon, this is, look, for a guy that right here, I can be, very much arraigned in this court. I was saying Walmart getting a higher valuation premium coming out of COVID-19 was something to be very concerned about. And I was a seller of those highs around 126 to 130, which we hit, about 6 to 8 weeks ago, maybe even a little bit further back into the COVID crisis, because I felt like the consumer, who is really where they dominate, and ultimately when we come out of this, the consumer is going to be impaired. The biggest retailer in the world shouldn't get a premium going into a very difficult period. But when I look at that multiple, at least on a trailing basis, and a lot of people say, hey, Tim, why are you choosing a trailing basis, guy?
There's a number of reasons why. I mean, well,
well, you were supposed to say, hey, Tim, why are you choosing on a trailing basis?
Tim, why are you choosing trailing basis?
Thank you, Mr. Monsoon, because ultimately you've got, I think we're talking about normalized earnings of yesteryear as it relates to so many companies. So at a very minimum, If we think about last year's earnings in Walmart, whether they get there in 2020 or 2021, we're giving the entire stock market a mulligan. So I think 23 times trailing is at least worth talking about for Walmart. And if you could begin to put some type of an Amazon e-commerce number on them, and we know that the e-commerce revenues for Walmart are now close to 30% of their business, this changes what you're willing to pay for this stock. This stock looks very, very cheap relative to an Amazon. And so, yeah, maybe they start getting mentioned, Gorilla Monsoon and Andre and Giant, in the same sentence at least, even if Andre is going to dominate and win.
Yeah, maybe. And I think that's the bull case. The bear case is, why do you want to compete with Amazon on price when Amazon could absolutely crush them if they wanted to, in my opinion? So to me, it's sort of a dangerous game. Amazon has allowed Walmart to sort of do their thing for quite some time. Now it seems like Walmart's skating in their lane, and I wonder there's going to be a pushback from Amazon at some point, I think. And I'm wondering, listen, I'm sure Walmart obviously thought this out, and they have advisors and they have better consultants than I could ever imagine to have. My instinct says, why would you wake this sleeping giant when things have been going pretty well for you all along? My opinion.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're awakening the sleeping giant. I think Amazon's doing what they do, and their wrecking ball is not going to stop for Walmart or anybody else. I think Amazon's been gunning for Walmart for a long time, but I'll say this: one of the arguments about Walmart has been that you look at their warehouses, you look at essentially their infrastructure around the country, you look at their distribution, you look at their supply chain, their ability to push on suppliers and dominate it, very much the way Apple does in their sector, means that Walmart has logistics and ERP and procurement and things that Amazon spent a lot of years to, and I'm not sure they're getting enough credit for that in their valuation. So I need to qualify all this excitement around Walmart that I seem to be expressing as a guy that's been kind of bearish on the Walmart valuation. But if I think about Walmart Plus, and what is it about adding a plus? If someone was getting a Guy-Adami Plus offering, because it seems like everybody's got a plus offering, what would they be getting? I mean,
I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's such nonsense if you think about it. It's a complete, but it seems to work. So good for whoever thought of the idea to add a plus to it, or Coca-Cola Plus is the next thing. For me, it's all marketing ploys, but maybe they work. For me, it doesn't particularly work that well.
Well, Disney Plus, Apple Plus. So all right, so King Kong versus Godzilla. Where are you on this one?
I'm a King Kong guy. I've always been a King Kong guy. I mean, maybe it's because I feel some sort of, King Kong is sort of like the Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali. I was always a Joe Frazier guy. So in my world, Frazier was King Kong and Ali was Godzilla.
That's interesting. I mean, I hear you on, latching onto a Frazier. I'm not sure how, King Kong got to be Joe Frazier relative to Godzilla. By the way, Godzilla, I thought you were going to go Godzilla because of your boy Matsui. I mean, this guy patrolled.
I hated that nickname to me. I liked Matsui as a player. Obviously, 09 World Series, the guy was, on fire, unstoppable. But the nicknames to me, just the way this nickname, and we got to go after this, but the Giant quarterback nickname of Danny Dimes might be the worst nickname in the history of New York sports.
Danny Dimes? Danny Dimes.
Dimes, as in two nickels.
As in, you got a dime so I can call someone who gives
right
about that topic. On that note,
maybe we can get Danny Dimes on the show one of these days.
He's a huge fan of the show. Danny, calling out to you. Let's change your nickname, and let's do that next week.
Sounds like a plan.
Later.
Talk to you tomorrow.